Good morning guys, Super Saiyan 30 here, giving you guys episode 6 of Storytime with Super Saiyan. And boy, you guys are going to be in a treat for this story that I have for you. Today, I am going to be finally telling you guys the story of how I, Super Saiyan 30, became a fighting game maniac. And what was my first fighting game. And why do I play it so much on the channel as you see today. So, to start things off, the Dragon Ball FighterZ gameplay is trash. I'm still trying to be good with this team because, you know, I really want a secondary Gogeta Super Saiyan 4. My blue Gogeta is absolutely terrible, so expect a lot of combo drops. But my Gotenks is kind of saucy, so you'll see that in a little bit. Also, the first beginning of the clip is kind of laggy. This man was having shitty Tarzan internet connection. Motherfucker must be stealing that shit from 2 blocks away. But that's besides the point. I'm going to be getting into details of how I got into fighting games and became a huge maniac with them, and why do I worship it and had an addiction to it. So basically, let's go way back into the summer of 2007. I was basically playing Dragon Ball Z games at the time. My first ever Dragon Ball Z game that I ever got my hands on was Dragon Ball Z Budokai 2. My first ever fighting game. Most of the games I had to start off when I got the PlayStation 2 were sports games like Madden NFL 2004, Tiger Woods PGA Golf Course 2005 and 6, NBA Live 2007, a lot of other games. And not only that, one of my favorite games that I love to play, Lego Star Wars. Boy, I love playing Lego Star Wars. And this is what got me, this game changed my life. My mom realized that I was making really good grades at school. So she surprised me with a game. She said I can have any game of my choice. So I decided to get none other than the good old Dragon Ball Z Budokai 2, because I never had a Dragon Ball Z game ever. I didn't know they were making Dragon Ball Z games at the time, so I was late. Yes, I was living under a rock, please don't believe me. And I decided to get Budokai 2, and I went home, put it in my PlayStation 2, and had an absolute blast. I loved it. I loved the combat system of it. I love the fact that you could transform into a Super Saiyan. That's my favorite part of the game. That's what I bought the game for. It was really intriguing to me because not only do I love every second of Dragon Ball lore, but I love the adrenaline, the excitement, the shifting, the graphics, the tone, the visuals, everything about it. It was really fun to me. And not only that, doing combos that do a lot of damage and hearing them say hoo ha ha die yeah, and them screaming their attacks. I loved every bit of it. I did. The story mode I didn't really like as a kid because I was like, yeah, it wasn't really fun. I expected to follow off from the anime and so on. So I was kind of disappointed of the Budokai 2 story mode. It was kind of booty cheeks, not gonna lie. But I loved the game so much that I had to have more of it. But also I had one neighbor who was also a fighting game expert. He had a fight pad. He was competing at a little bit of tournaments in my hometown. He wasn't barely big, but he was really good. He was a pro around these parts. And basically he told me that, hey, you're starting your very first fighting game, huh? My very first fighting game was Street Fighter 4 and blah blah blah, Street Fighter 2 back in the day, and basically told me in order to plaster the fighting games, you need to learn how to play, do combos, and once you learn how to do combos, you need to learn how to use movement and how to maneuver around the stage, and know your maps, because there's a lot of things you need to know about little guy. He called me little guy. He's like, you need to learn how to get into the mind of your opponent and know what to do ahead of time. Always be one step ahead of your opponent, and more importantly, have fun. Just don't let your opponent know that you're doing something because that one makes you predictable. I didn't know what he meant at first, but I just didn't really care what he said. I just wanted to do combos and, turn into a Super Saiyan and do all those low tier stuff and scrubby shit. But as over time I started to realize I wanted to try even more and do more as a player. So I decided to beat the game to its fullest extent. I 100% the game. I got every capsule. I got every amount of prize money in Zenny from the world tournament arena. Yeah, the world championship. And not only that, I unlocked every single character. And not only that, to prove that I mastered the game, I beat it at the highest level. Yes, right. Kid Buu was like the most difficult boss battle in that game. Even on normal / easy mode, he was still a piece of shit. So I actually realized that during that time I was like, wow, I beat that game like it was nothing at the hardest difficulty and all. That was kind of cool, and I wanted more of that because I knew I was getting better not only as a player but in skill. So I asked my mom, was there any more Dragon Ball Z games you could think of? She said, well, I'm gonna have to see, sweetie. And she found out more, and most of them were Wii exclusives and PlayStation 3 exclusives, so I had to think outside the box. That's when she bought me Budokai Tenkaichi 2. One was sold out, so she gave me 2, so I just skipped a whole another game and a whole nother sequence or series. I played Budokai 2, got Budokai 1 2 years later, then 3 afterwards. So I continued to collect the Dragon Ball Z games, not only in basically unorganized order, but I also started to play them at full consent. Every challenge along the way, it had ups and downs. It tilted me, it frustrated me because I didn't get some mechanics down pat. I wasn't doing combos like you see on YouTube. I wasn't doing that. I was just more of a bait and punish type player. I want to bait you in to do something very, very risky, so that way I can counterattack it and make you, regret of using that move ever again. That was me in a nutshell when it comes to fighting games, all fighting games in general. But some of the times I had to be aggressive. Some of the times I have to be defensive. Sometimes I can play passive, sometimes I can just, play cheese. That's what I did in most of these fighting games. And sometimes it would work. I practice my combos, I practice everything. The only thing that I kind of have a problem with is just finding people around me that are on the same exact skill level as I was. Back then, my mom's boyfriend was an absolute beast at Madden, and Madden, and he was my challenge. He was equally matched, and he beat me every time. And I remember I used to cry like a baby every time he beats me because it was fair. I didn't like to lose. It hurt me because it feels like every time I lose, I feel like a failure, and then I wasn't gonna amount to anything. I'll just be weak. I just wanted to win. That's all that matters. And my mom walked up to me and was like, sweetie, I understand that you don't like losing, but you have to see it like this. In life, we're all gonna have to win, we're gonna lose. You can't be afraid of that. Some people will pass, some people will fail. But it's all what you do in the end. In the end, you win some, you lose some. But you always live to play and fight another day. Because every loss makes you stronger, sweetie. And not only that, it makes you smarter. You could probably learn from some of those matches you played with. You could just have to learn the game's mechanics and just pay attention next time. You'll do it. I know you will. You're a really smart kid. A really bizarre and unique kid. And I believe in you. And from that, my mom's praise and support made me grow as a competitor, even though I'm not competing in tournaments, and a player. So I learned, and I continue to learn. So I took every loss and I improved from it. Every time that I lost a game, I will save a replay and look at it and see what I've done wrong and how could I did better. Even though I'm still kind of slow and stupid and I still can't adapt fast and stuff, but hey, we all suffer and we all have problems we need to work on. It takes time and it takes effort. A warrior's greatest weapon is patience, and over time I will master and overcome my weaknesses, and I will achieve a huge greater amount of strength and skill. So after all the games I played with Dragon Ball Z, I realized I wanted to take it to the next level. I decided to get Budokai Tenkaichi 3. Basically, it's said to be one of the most beloved and most best Dragon Ball Z games ever. But to be honest, I didn't really see it because I thought Budokai 3 was the best because great mechanics, graphics were really good, and not only that, the characters in that game had, unique skills, unique armor, unique, combos. Everyone was different than the others. Budokai, some characters have stock moves and stuff like that, so it kind of killed, that. But it had a great amount of challenge. It had a great amount of characters that I can learn from and, adapt to. I've always loved playing anime fighting games because it has a unique art style of battle and combat and strategy and how to do, to get ahead of your opponent. So when I was playing Budokai Tenkaichi 3, I was very anxious about it because this was the first time I played a 3D fighting game. I told you 2, right? But here's the thing about 2. When I got my hands on 2, we got rigged out of a game, and yeah, my mom spent money on this game, and there was no disc in there. So basically, the guy scammed us, and my mom was really pissed. So she talked to the supervisor who owns GameStop at the time, and the guy that scammed him got fired, and he's like, any free game I'll pay for it, it'll be on me. And I got Budokai Tenkaichi 3 for free. Yes, that was a very lucky day for good old kid Super Saiyan 30. I literally got a free Dragon Ball Z Budokai Tenkaichi 3 game. Sadly, after the hurricane incident, I lost it during the flood in my apartment. I lost it. But yeah, I got it for free. The 3D combat took me off guard because it was kind of hard. I thought it would always be 2D instead of 3D. I struggled. It frustrated me. I was angry. I didn't like the game. I didn't like how it played. I didn't like how it felt. I didn't like how the environment of it. The stages looked very nice. I liked it how they have day, evening, and night. I like how there are a lot of other characters in there. And I liked how they have my favorite version of Goku in there. Because I loved playing GT, Goku. I loved, Kid Goku's design. His Super Saiyan hair design, how it looks. I liked it Super Saiyan 4 as well. Because that was my favorite Super Saiyan transformation. Because I liked the tail and the red fur. And yeah, I was just mad because the game didn't feel like how I wanted to feel. But over time, I started to adapt to it. And so I remember my mom's words and I took it to heart. And it's like, maybe this is like a new challenge for me. I can adapt and learn from this. So I learned from it. I gave it my all, and I saw improvement. Even though I didn't have any people to play with, and I didn't have friends at the time, because growing up as a kid that, is different, it's kind of hard to make friends that had like the same similar things as you do. It hurts. So I just play by myself, and all I just beg it, just say, hey mom, come play the game with me. And they'll play the game with me. My sister will come and play the game with me. My brother will come play the game with me, because those were my friends. I didn't have actual friends at school because it was so hard to, express myself or what I like, because I got bullied for it. So, yeah. Yeah, I can't believe I opened up like that. But, yeah. Yeah. Budokai Tenkaichi 3 was like one of the most challenging games for me, and here's why. The game's combat was really hard to adapt to during my young time. And not only that, the thing that I really liked about Budokai Tenkaichi 3, the endless selections and possibilities of what you could do with the character, the customization, the maps, the strategy you can use in the game. I loved it. I loved all of it. Always had, always will. And as a fighting game, I always took this to heart. No matter what character you use, any character could be good in the right hands of any player. Low tier, mid tier, low mid tier, I don't give a damn. At first I thought combos were necessary, but that doesn't always mean that's not the only thing you need to use in order to become a great, player in a fighting game. You just have to know what you're doing. Hard work and practice pays off. And from there on out, I ran down a path of growth. Every Dragon Ball fighting game that I've ever encountered or got, I've always took a step back, practice, and then I step forward and say, I'm ready. Because you guys never know what challenge will unfold in your path in your life. Same goes for fighting games. Always be ready for anything. Anyways guys, thank you guys for watching. I know you guys don't really used to seeing videos this long, but I just like to express myself when it comes to fighting games. So yeah, my first ever Dragon Ball Z fighting game was Budokai Tenkaichi 2, and I loved it. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Make sure you give it a like, comment on what you think about it. What was your very first fighting game? Let me know in the comment section below. If you guys always want to stay updated with the channel, always keep that subscribe button, hit that notification bell to stay up to date with the same universe 24/7, 365. Until next time guys, as Super Saiyan 30 always say, I will see you guys on the battlefield. See you guys later.